But the city lies in ruins, a skeleton of what it once was. From the sky, two black hawks cut through the smoke-filled air, flying low and fast. Inside, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Soldiers brace themselves, the air heavy with the smell of ozone and steel. There a symphony of deadly preparation, loading light machine guns, chambering rounds in AK-47s, and the satisfying heavy click of a G3 rifle's magazine locking into place. Belts of ammunition are draped like metallic serpents, each link a promise of the storm to come. The rhythmic chop of the rotor blades is the only sound, a steady heartbeat before the chaos. Then, without warning, the sky erupts. Anti-aircraft fire rips through the air, a deadly web of tracers reaching for them. The first impacts are brutal. Sparks fly like angry fireworks as rounds tear through the helicopter's skin. The sound is a nightmare of screeching metal. The chopper lurches violently, alarms screaming in protest. The pilot wrestles with the controls as the world outside becomes a blur of fire and smoke. The radio crackles with frantic, overlapping voices. A desperate chorus against a rising, pounding bass that mimics a heart about to burst. The second helicopter isn't so lucky. A direct hit smashes into its tail rotor, sending it into a sickening, uncontrolled spin. The pilot's fight is heroic but futile. The ground rushes up to meet them with terrifying speed. It hits a city street with the force of a meteor, a colossal impact that throws up a mushroom cloud of dust and debris. The world is momentarily silenced, then chaos reclaims its throne. But before the dust even begins to settle, the side doors are kicked open. Soldiers pour out, their training taking over. They don't hesitate, they don't even flinch. They hit the ground and immediately open fire. A wall of disciplined fury. The distinct, sharp rattle of an AK-47 echoes through the ruined streetscape. We see the action in stunning slow motion, each spent shell casing pirouetting through the air, glinting in the dim light as it tumbles to the asphalt. It's a ballet of violence, the first notes in a deadly street-level symphony. The enemy materializes from the shadows, like ghosts rising from the rubble. They appear on rooftops, their silhouettes stark against the grey sky, and spill out from darkened alleys, their movements swift and purposeful. The firefight ignites instantly, transforming the street into a kill box. The battle becomes intensely personal, fought at dangerously close quarters. The roar of an LMG providing suppression fire is deafening, its bullets chewing through concrete walls and turning cover into dust. But the camera pulls in tight over the shoulder of a soldier, putting you right in the heart of the action. You can feel the recoil, see the muzzle flash illuminate the grim determination on his face. Another soldier, finding a moment's respite, ejects an empty magazine from his G3. The sound is heavy, metallic, and deliberate. He slams a fresh one home with a satisfying thud, the sound echoing the finality of his actions. All around them, explosions bloom, their thunderous booms reverberating through the narrow. canyon-like streets, each blast a punctuation mark in this brutal urban war. Just when the tide of the battle seems to be turning, the ground begins to tremble. A new, more monstrous threat announces its arrival. A massive enemy tank, a behemoth of steel and firepower, grinds its way into the street. The camera focuses on its colossal treads, mercilessly crushing debris and the remnants of cars beneath its immense weight. It's an unstoppable force, a mechanical leviathan. The main cannon swivels with a low, menacing hum, locking onto the soldier's position. Then it fires. The sound is a physical blow, a deafening crack that sends a visible shockwave ripping through the air. The world seems to warp for a second. Soldiers dive for cover, the sheer concussive force of the blast throwing them like ragdolls. But in the face of this overwhelming power, one soldier rises to the challenge. But he shoulders an RPG, the rocket's distinctive shape a symbol of defiance. He takes a breath, aims, and fires. The rocket screams across the street, a streak of fire and smoke, and finds its mark, a direct hit. The tank erupts in a massive, glorious fireball, a funeral pyre of twisted metal and flame. High above the inferno on the streets, a different kind of battle is being waged. A 2-month sniper team has scaled a half-demolished building, finding a precarious perch overlooking the war zone. Their world is one of patience and precision. Through a long-range scope, we see the battlefield from their perspective, distant enemy figures, small and detached. Their target, a rooftop machine gunner pinning down their comrades below. The sniper takes his position, his movements calm and economical amidst the chaos. He controls his breathing, his focus absolute. The world narrows to the space between his crosshairs and his target. He fires. A small puff of dust kicks up from the rifle's muzzle. Miles away, the enemy gunner jolts and falls silent. It's a duel of marksmen, a quiet, deadly chess match played out against the backdrop of the roaring street theater. Stark contrast between the marksman's cold calm and the fiery chaos raging below. Just as the soldiers on the ground regroup, the roar of friendly turbines fills the air once more. Hope arrives in the form of 2 more helicopters, appearing over the city skyline like avenging angels. These are gunships, bristling with weaponry. They descend, their side-mounted miniguns beginning to spin with a terrifying whine. Then they unleash hell. A torrent of tracer rounds streams down, lighting up the sky and tearing into enemy positions with unbelievable fury. It's not just gunfire. It's a solid wall of lead, a devastating force of nature that rips the battlefield apart. The helicopters hover low, their powerful rotor wash kicking up immense clouds of sand and debris, creating a swirling, disorienting sandstorm. It's a breathtaking display of air power, a decisive blow that turns the tide and gives the soldiers on the ground the opening they desperately need. With the enemy suppressed by the gunship's onslaught, the call comes to push forward. This is the final advance, a brutal, grinding fight through a narrow, war-torn intersection that serves as the enemy's last major stronghold. The resistance is ferocious. The air is thick with bullets, a constant lethal buzz. One soldier becomes a whirlwind of destruction, incredibly dual-wielding a light machine gun and a G3 rifle, firing them in alternating, rhythmic bursts of pure firepower. Grenades are lobbed, and we watch them arc through the air in cinematic slow motion before detonating in blossoms of fire and shrapnel. The entire scene is a chaotic masterpiece of combat. Dust from pulverized concrete, thick black smoke from burning wreckage, and a constant flash of sparks from ricocheting bullets. This isn't just a battle, it's total war, a sensory overload of sound and fury. The soldiers push through it all, their resolve unbreakable, advancing inch by bloody inch toward their objective. The extraction chopper descends into the heart of the firefight, its landing skids touching down under a hail of incoming fire. It's now a race against time. The soldiers break from cover, running in a desperate, slow-motion sprint toward the waiting helicopter. The ground behind them is torn to shreds by bullets, dirt kicking up in tiny explosions at their heels. You can feel the urgency, the sheer will to survive in every stride. One by one, they make the final, desperate leap into the chopper's open bay, hands reaching out to pull their comrades aboard. As the last soldier gets in, the helicopter doesn't wait. It rises immediately, gaining altitude while the city burns beneath it. The epic, swelling music reaches its crescendo, a triumphant anthem of survival and victory. The camera pulls back, higher and higher into the sky, revealing the vast, scarred battlefield from a god's-eye view. The lone helicopter flies on, a silhouette against the rising sun. And then the screen fades to black, with two simple words appearing: Operation Complete. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more.